are gonna start some seeds today and put them in our little seedling hutch. And so we thought we'd have you join us. So our plan today is to take the potting soil and put it in the little cups here, and then pick out what we're gonna plant for this go round and get started. We've got a little seed shelf in there with some lights we'll show you. And then downstairs this year we have a greenhouse, and so we want to show you that too. So stay tuned. Here we go. All right, so let's see. I might should put the dirt in like something I could dig it out of.
Yeah.
Oh, something like this maybe.
Uh-oh.
All right, so I'm just gonna put the dirt here. I'm gonna read this and see if it says it has like vitamins and minerals or what it has. I should have done that already.
Here, I can read this out here.
Okay, what you got?
Lean it back a little bit.
Okay.
It says for house plants, flowers, vegetables, herbs, and all container gardens, enriched with compost, lobster meal, and kelp meal, natural, slow-release nitrogen.
Perfect. Okay, so I don't think we need to add anything. We're just gonna use the dirt.
I would, yeah.
Okay, so we gotta get eventually we got to get a Sharpie.
That's my cue.
So last year, we started all these seeds in these little tiny disc things. And we had a lot of trouble with our garden, and we think some of it had to do with starting at those tiny little cups, and when we went to transplant them into something bigger, we mishandled them, or they just didn't like being transplanted, and so it just didn't turn out good. So we've done some research and figured out that you could also just pot them straight into a bigger container, and then there's no transition from small container to big container to garden. So that's what we're doing. We're gonna go through this pretty quick.
Yeah. You need me to start marking them off yet, or no?
I don't know yet. I don't know what we're gonna put in them or anything.
Okay.
I don't know what seeds we're gonna put in what. I don't wanna make it harder somehow.
Okay.
They do have words on them from last year, so I might could scratch that out while you fill those up. We really thought last year was going to be the super success, and it was not. A lot of things impacted us last year. We did sit down and talk through what we thought worked for us, what didn't work for us, what we'd like to do different given the opportunity. So one of those is our garden. If you'll remember, that video is in total shade in the summertime. We had no idea when we moved here because we moved in the wintertime. I mean, it looked like a good spot, but come to find out, that one tree above it is the lushest, greenest tree you've ever seen. So we are gonna take that tree down. We are not gonna waste that tree by any means. We're gonna work on making some sitting benches in the yard, and we'll always remember that tree because it was sure special for us last year when we realized we had trouble. So far this year, we have already went through one round of plantings, just like this. We did a really small batch just to see what we were doing, if it was gonna work or not. And we planted 4 tomato seeds. They were called bodacious tomatoes, and we planted 4 other variety of tomato, and they were called steak sandwich tomatoes. So, and we put them in our little seed shelf, which we'll show you, and they did great. And so they are already graduated from the seed shelf down into the greenhouse in the basement. So we also started some lettuces. We started Grand Rapids lettuce, which we used last year, or tried to grow last year. And we also started Paris Isle lettuce. I think we have 1 or 2 of those that have progressed to this next level into the greenhouse. So today we're going to do some lettuces. We're not going to do those varieties. They either just don't like us much, or maybe they're not really viable seeds. So
the seeds that we've gotten so far and put in the greenhouse are far ahead of what we had last year, a month out from now. So they've really, really done well in the solo cups.
yeah. And not everybody does this solo cup method, but Tim and I really felt like that's where most of our stuff went south. Was they were tiny, tiny little pucks, and we started them in, and they would dehydrate like that, and they would overwater and get flooded out like that. They were just being so tiny, they were just really fragile little things, that we think. So this year we're going this route. We kept all our cups from last year. You know, we planted almost all of these last year, but we certainly didn't get a lot in return.
Last year was an educational process, to say the least.
About a lot of things. Cold weather and snow and black flies and mosquitoes that are big as your arm, and
But you live and learn, and that's how you move forward.
You know, when we first got here, we did say in our videos, we thought folks here were just made of a little tougher stuff, and I agree. They endure these winters and the bugs and stuff, and they still enjoy life. They don't just stay locked up in the house. They actually hate that.
Yeah. And like I said in an earlier video, if you wait until the weather gets nice enough to do something, you won't do anything but about 2 months out of the year.
I'm gonna take one of these and top these off.
So you just have to bottle up and go on. Oh, you want more in them?
Yeah, I just thought that we would. I think they do a little better if they're not shaded by the rim of the cup. Some of the ones that did kind of were low down. I didn't do them good. So. Because it does, you know, shade in there. I don't know. It probably doesn't matter, honestly. So the plants we've already taken to the greenhouse, we have a chart. We're gonna measure their growth. Our first measure date is gonna be when they get 3 inches above the solo cup. And so this will help anyway. But some of them down there are a little more packed down, and so it'll take them a little longer to get 3 inches above the cup. Ah, we have company.
It was nice to see her.
It was nice. Sweet lady. We got a visit from our neighbor. Some of our mail got deposited in her box, so she brought it to us. It's very nice. Let me go see. I think I got 2 more sets of trays we can use too.
Okay.
We're gonna really do this.
This is good loamy soil.
It's lovely, isn't it? I don't know what loamy means. But it's light and airy, and is that what that means?
Yeah. Yep. It's airy. Somewhat porous. Too.
Fluffy. And I think seeds like fluffy. So
Oh,
they can
yeah.
come up through faster.
Oh, yeah.
You're pretty fast. I gotta make sure I'm all caught up with you. As far as the names. Scratching out what we had. I'd hate to get confused, you know?
Oh, yeah.
That's all we need. We had trouble last year. At some point, when we were doing those little bitty seed cup thingies that weren't successful, we lost track of what was in each cup some, because everything was kind of dying at the same rate. It was hard to tell one from the other. But anyway, so this will be a lot better. Everybody's got a name on their own little cup.
We had an anniversary Sunday,
Oh,
so we fixed steaks, and we also had some of our green beans that we canned back in the summer.
and the corn we put up.
That we froze. And so we were able to celebrate the anniversary with some of the produce that we grew here on the old homestead.
We've never been able to say that in a previous year. It was our first time with growing things or attempting to grow things. We did okay. We bought green beans from the Amish folks, and we were given some from our friends, and so we were able to put up theirs along with ours, since we didn't have quite a bumper crop, I don't guess.
We had enough beans off of our vines to eat every
Yeah,
now and then.
yeah, nothing really to put up. We put up everybody else's. It's looking pretty good.
Yeah.
I don't know at what time to say these are full. I don't know. How could we technically get in there? Should we just fill them up, you reckon?
Hmm?
Just have them full?
Yeah, I'd say so. And
Let's see.
just
I don't even know. Yeah, that'll fit there. Okay.
we're certainly enjoying the extra sunlight in the afternoon now that the time's changed.
Yes.
I wish they'd leave it like this.
Help us out in the colder climates. We need some sun.
Yeah.
Yeah, we could have done this in the basement, but the basement is cement and it's harder to really sweep things up and all, so I think we can clean up better up here.
And we've got this stainless steel
Yeah.
table that
We love
use
this table.
for everything.
We sure do. We had to save up for this, but boy, has it been fabulous. Made a big difference in our home.
It's easily clean, doesn't harbor any kind of bacteria.
I'm excited to sit down and pick out what we're gonna plant. You know, Nancy may have a greener thumb than us. You know, since she's like, oh, you're planting early, but we're trying to fix our mistakes from last year.
I think our thumbs are turning from black to green. say nobody starts out with a green thumb unless you're from Mars.
An alien. You know, we rinsed all these out with a hose last year. But they weren't exactly clean, but just dirt back in them. But these ones are stuck together like glue. Yeah. I'll break a nail. I'm just set that to the side.
Oh, heaven forbid.
I know, we don't want to break a nail. We've talked about cabbage, and we tried to grow cabbage last year. We're not going to try it this year. We think it's just way too massive, and we only have these 5 little growing beds. So we think our space would be better given to something else. We kind of like the idea of this cut and come again lettuce and stuff. So we're going to be planting that kind of lettuce where you just chop it off for a salad, come back in a couple days and get you some more salad. That's what we're going to go for this time.
Yeah, we went by the milling company in town yesterday and got this potting soil, and they're remodeling, and they always have a tremendous amount of flowers, seeds, soil, fertilizer, and they're always very nice to work with, and so we enjoy going by there and seeing what they have.
I was looking on, they have this board above their counter where you check out, and they have a list of all kind of things that they sell. And yesterday I saw they had a half of a cow. I think it was a half for like $2,000. But it's probably a good deal if you can afford the upfront cost. I don't know.
Well, if you had somewhere to put it, we have several freezer spaces, but we don't have
That kind of space.
No, we'd have to buy
Commercial freezer or
just
something.
about.
But yeah, I remember thinking, well, that's a unique thing. And they usually have pigs for sale and chickens for sale. There'll be little signs up. I've seen puppies for sale. Little sign about that. It's a neat little place. Well, these will run through some water quickly with all these in here. We love tending to the plants. Every morning we get up and we look to see if anybody else has germinated, or check the water, check the temperature.
Run downstairs and check
The greenhouse.
greenhouse temperature. That's been a little bit of a
Moving,
obstacle
yeah.
to try to regulate the temperature, but it's within the parameters that it needs to be, so that's okay.
We had it for a while and it was below 70, and I thought, I think it should be warmer. And then we fiddled with it, and then it was 80, and I'm like, I think it should be cooler. So right now it's at 72, I think, last time I looked. And
If
so
we can keep it at that, that would be
we'll
nice.
just leave it be. Are we overworking you over there? I'm really doing nothing.
No.
Okay.
But we probably, after these three, need to start deciding what we might want to put in each one of them. You know?
Okay, I was assuming we'd fill all of them since we got 5 layers of the seed shelf in there.
Yeah. Fill all of what? All of those?
All of these trays, so then we'll use these to finish that tray.
Okay.
Yeah, we truly are out of solo cups after these next couple. Didn't break a nail. It's all good.
It's a balmy 39 degrees today.
Oh,
Oh, it's up to 41 now.
Spring
is here.
Spring.
Spring is here.
So last year we put, was it hay or straw?
Straw.
Straw as a top dressing over top of our garden beds out there. And come to find out, Tim is allergic to straw. He would just sneeze and sneeze and sneeze. Isn't that, it sneeze, right? Or cough? What was it?
Sneeze.
Sneeze.
The older I've gotten, I never had any allergies as a kid, and most time it's opposite. You have allergies as a kid, and some folks grow out of them. I never had any kind of allergy as a kid, and I've grown into them.
So we got to come up with something else to top dress our soil with. I don't know if y'all have any suggestions.
Well, I mean,
We need something to
I can
shade
put
the top
up
of
with
the
it for a little
soil.
bit.
Well, there's tons of stuff out there.
Yeah.
I just hadn't researched what it needs to be. Well, we are loving the sunshine.
Oh, yeah.
I couldn't find Tim in the house earlier this week. I'm like, where you at, honey? Where you at? Where you at? And sure enough, he was standing outside soaking up the sun. You can't blame him a bit. It was windy and cold that day, though, but it was sunny.
Oftentimes, sun is a valuable commodity here, and that's why in the summertime, once the sun comes out and the warmth comes in, we stay outside all the time, because in the wintertime, we try to get out as much as we can, but we end up staying in a lot. So when the weather does break, look out.
Y'all will see pictures of this greenhouse, but it is so nice. It was a gift, and it is just perfect. We bought some sawhorses to go with a set of sawhorses we already had, and we had some boards, plywood, yeah. And so Tim made us like shelves to go on top of the sawhorses to put all these once they graduate out of the seed house and go into the greenhouse. And so, but it is grand. It really is nice down there. So happy, so blessed. That'll be it. You want to call that?
Yeah, I got.
Or you want to do
this
some
one.
more?
I got 2 more here.
Okay, you can. So we have 4 shelves in our greenhouse, seed house. And so this is where these are gonna go eventually.
Love getting my hands dirty.
There we go. All right, we're gonna move on to our next step.
Yeah, the thought process.
Yes, could be a month or so, who knows?